Hey, welcome back to Story Time. Happy whatever day this is. I never know for sure when these are going to be on, so it could be Tuesday, or it could be Wednesday, or it could be a week. But you know what? It'll still be on either a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And since these play on a loop, if you miss one, all you have to do is wait, and you can hear the next. So let's continue with Keck and Ganwar now, who both have a job at the same farm, and see what's happening to these boys. The next week, my ESL class takes a field trip to the zoo. Field trip is another English trick, like raining cats and dogs and barrel of laughs, because there is no field and it's not a far trip like one I took from Africa. We take a yellow bus and we get to the zoo. We must stand in line to get our tickets. The other kids complain, but I am used to lines. One day in the refugee camp, I stood in line for 9 hours to get a handful of corn. At last, a guiding lady walks us past birds and lizards, fish and butterflies, zebras and elephants. We're looking for animals from our homeland. I see gazelles standing on a low hill beyond a fence. I remember such animals bounding through tall grass, riding the air like wingless birds, and I wonder, how did they come to be here in this strange, cold world? They flick their tails and check the horizon for danger. They're safe here, but they don't know it. We visit the petting zoo with its animals for touching. Who will not eat your hand? There are goats and chickens and pigs, a llama and a turkey, but no cows. We are supposed to be watching the animals, but I can't stop looking at the people looking at all the animals. A class of little children laughs at the pigs rolling happily in cold mud. Their class looks like our class, or maybe we look like them, many colors and shapes and words. Of all the things I didn't know about America, this is the most amazing. I didn't know there would be so many tribes from all over the world. How could I have imagined the way they walk through the world side by side without fear, all free to gaze at the same sky with the same hopes? What would my father have said to see such a thing? My brother? What will my mother say? I walk behind my classmates to the neat and next exhibit, but I am not alone. My family is with me, and every sight is something they cannot see, and every hope is something they cannot feel. To carry them, unseen as the wind, is a heavy burden. All afternoon my belly aches. Maybe I should have eaten more, I tell myself, but I know the hurt of hunger well. Hunger is a wild dog gnawing on a dry bone, mad with impatience, but hoping still. It isn't hunger I feel today. This pain is worse, one without pity, like an icy night. This pain is a question, the one my heart will not stop asking. Why am I here when so many others are not? Why should I have a desk and a pair of fine jeans and a soft place for my head to rest? Why should I have the freedom to hope while my brother and father sleep in bloodied earth? I should not take these gifts. I do not deserve, and yet I know I will take them, warm food and a soft bed and fresh hope holding on tight as the wild dog to his bone. Before ESL, we have homeroom. I don't like it. In my homeroom are only 3 other ESL students, and I don't speak their words. All the rest are from America. One morning, a folded paper waits on my homeroom desk. I think maybe it's a note to pass, I've seen other students hand paper to each other during the loud man in the wall named announcements. It's exciting to think I might already have a homeroom friend. When I open it, I see a picture. It's not a good drawing, but after a moment I can see it's a dead body made of bones, hungry. Kenya, a boy in the back asks. His voice has knives in it. I hold up an apple half eaten. For me, thank you, I say, using my polite English words. And my home, I add, is not Kenya, it's Sudan. He tosses the apple across the room and it lands on my desk and drops to the floor. My homeroom teacher looks up from his newspaper. Can the flying fruit, he says. Of course, I don't want the apple to be wasted. I pick it up off the floor and throw it back to the boy. It hits him on the nose. I'm a fine thrower of rocks and balls. It's not my fault the boy moved. The teacher gives me a detention slip. I'm not sure what this slip means, but I know I'm not the only one in class who receives one. I feel very lucky to be selected by my teacher for such an honor. The next afternoon, Hannah arrives and invites me to visit the grocery store with her. Her mother, she calls a foster, has asked her to buy some food for dinner. We take another bus to a place of many cars in neat rows. By the time we get there, the sun has already said goodnight. That's it, Hannah says. Safe way. There isn't enough food in the world to fill such a building, I say, and I follow her inside, and she grabs a shiny cart. You don't pay for this fine cart? I asked. You just borrow it, she explains. The grocery store has rows and rows of color and light, of easy hope. Hannah moves down the aisle, but I stand like a tree rooted firm. My eyes so full of this place, with its answers to prayers on every shelf. Hannah glances over her shoulder. You okay? She asks. I reach out and touch a piece of bright green food. I've never seen it before. And then I begin to cry. Hannah rushes to my side. It's okay, she said. We can leave if you want. She takes my hand, and we leave the empty cart and go outside. We sit on an icy bench and wait for the bus. A car whooshes past, its lights on the gloom, like the eyes of a great cat prowling for food in the moonlight.